Instant forms have served thousands and thousands of businesses over the last few years. They've been fantastic. Instant form slash lead form. They are Meta's way for a lead to fill in some information for you to then follow up with them. But I'm afraid they have changed, and they have changed forever. And in today's video, I'm going to talk about what you need to change to ensure that you still make money from your meta ads, what we're doing with our clients, and why not only can you improve your current instant forms to make sure that they actually give you money back and you don't end up with leads messaging you who are like, hey, how much is it? So we're going to look at that. We're going to look at how that affects landing pages, and we're also going to look at how it affects the trust building in your space, whatever that is. If it's a gym, online business. So tune into this video. I'm going to be drawing on the big board here because we're pulling out the big guns because it's an important video. So enjoy. Okay, quick history lesson if you're not familiar with running ads for your fitness business or any business really. There's only really two ways. I mean, there's loads of different e-commerce things and stuff, but if we think of you creating an ad, whether it's your picture of your community, whether it's a recorded video, video of your gym, whatever that is, we all know you run an ad, okay? And that ad is what's called the creative. So it's a video, an image, carousel, whatever it is. And then from there, you decide, okay, who am I going to show this ad to? So who is the audience that I'm going to show it to? And then there's a whole host of stuff we could talk about here, whether you let Meta choose it, whether you choose your own audience. But after that, once we've picked the audience, we're then choosing where we want to send people. And this is what today's video is all about. So historically, what's happened is, let me just rub this out slightly. So you have the ad, and historically, what has happened is you either send the people that click on the ad to an instant form, it's called, also known as a lead form. Now, an instant form, or you send people to a landing page. Now, the landing page you'll be familiar with, it's just a page that's your www.yourbusiness.com. It's got a big headline, it's got your social proof, it's got a big message on it. And then you either send them to that or you send them to an instant form. Now, if you're not familiar with what an instant form is, it's essentially just a form where you give your name, email, and maybe you get asked one or two more questions. Now, the pros to this is Facebook are like, yes, well done. You've not sent someone away from our platform. They've had a good experience. They've clicked on something. They've interacted, because ultimately that's all Facebook want. You'll even see now that it auto populates. So someone can click on your ad, click on that, give you your details in 3 touches. Is that a pro? Yes, but it's also a con, because what happens is you can get a lot of people just clicking. Some people can do it by mistake if they've got big thumbs. You get a lot of spam and things like that. So they've got pros and they've got cons. The landing page pros is that you take them away from this kind of measly form that doesn't do much, and then you take them into your world. You show your brand, you show your ethos, you can nail the copywriting on this section as well. The cons is that Facebook have said, oh, you've taken one of our users to a random page somewhere. We now can't control or track them. That's me just telling you the basic version of it, okay? So the most popular, to be honest with you, over the years, and certainly phase one of running your marketing for the first time, has always been instant forms. Nowadays, though, as I've mentioned at the start of this video with the trust deficit and things, the instant forms are getting harder and harder to convert people. So let me rub this out quickly because I want to show you the funnel in its entirety. I'm going to show you its entirety in terms of the steps, but I'm not going to go into too much detail. So like I said, you have the ad, and then you have, in this case, it's instant forms where they populate it. And then from there, you've got their information. Now, really good businesses will have pipeline here where this instant form entry pulls into here, and it'll be the prospect, and it'll be a whole bunch of prospects sitting here. And then you have to decide as a business owner how you're going to contact these prospects. And this is where different, businesses see different levels of success. If we talk about the high end of it, it's like this instant form lead comes in, and you phone this person straight away. If it's a gym owner, you'd phone them. Maybe you don't go with that tactic. Maybe you just send them a text message or an email. That's fine. So that's that part of the next step once you've got the lead. And then from there, obviously, they go to your CRM, your pipeline, and then you engage with them. So maybe you send some sort of message or you make a phone call. Now, this used to work perfectly fine. Obviously, when you send this message here, you will get, I don't know, for every 10 messages you send, you might get 3 people replying, then you might get 1 sign up. for example, right? Just loosely talking here. And for some, that's okay. That's scalable. We can run with that. But what's happening now is three people replying is now turning into one person replying, which means no signups. And so this is the problem now because people are spammed with offers. And it's also a problem because if we look at like the targeting and all this sort of stuff here, Face Meta with the big Andromeda update, it's getting harder and harder and harder to target the people that you want if you've not got enough creative and stuff. Now, I want to come back to what I said because I want to promise you the video. I'm not trying to get clickbait or anything here. The big talking point here is that instant forms aren't what they used to be. Now, a good thing, if we want to stay positive here, is that instant forms have actually done a bit of an update. So instead of just being name, email, and stuff in a really blank page, they've done a lot of updates. So you can actually pimp your instant form up, add a lot of friction. Friction just means that it's more things for the viewer to do, which is a good thing because you can weed out the people who aren't prepared to do one or two more extra steps to get in touch if they're interested. Okay. Obviously, you're always going to have the landing page, which we call phase two in our marketing for our gyms and fitness businesses. Which again is a lot harder to crack. You need to write some compelling copy. You need to have really good questions and stuff for your surveys. But for us, the most exciting part is that Instant Forms have updated their things. Now, let's zoom out a minute. Instant Forms landing pages, it doesn't matter. Online coach, gym owner, local based business, it doesn't really matter. Trust. How do we deal with the trust deficit? Well, I've got an answer for it. Okay. So whether you're using instant forms or you're using a landing page, we're getting leads. That's what we're trying to get here. So let's look at the behavior. Imagine someone fills in your instant form or they fill in your landing page application form. Let me move it over here actually. So we have a lead who's just filled something in. Now, trust and how warm that lead gets colder and colder by the minute you don't get in touch because they forget life goes on. So then we have you is it's either this big long bit here before you engage in a conversation. Okay. So this could be for a really on it business. It's here. So it's maybe 5 minutes. This person here could be an hour, right? And it could be longer. I've seen gyms and businesses take longer. Now, regardless of how long this is, what we need to do is figure out ways that we can, when they've filled in this, let's say the behavior is filling in the form, right? Because they became a lead. We need stuff to happen in here, right? And this is what we're installing for our businesses. When the lead comes in, whenever that lead goes back on Facebook, right, to scroll or Instagram to scroll, we feed them another ad, right? I'll give you a perfect example of this if we think of gyms. They fill in an instant form. They're like, oh, that's men over 40 in my area. I need a bit of that. They click on it, they fill it in. They're waiting for you to get in touch. The next time they open Facebook, let's say you message them, right? And you're like, hey, it's such and such here from the gym. Thanks for completing the form. Like, who's that again? Oh, yeah, okay. Get back to that later, right? They go back on Meta. They see another one of your ads, right? This time it's retargeting. This time it's, instead of making a direct offer, this time it's a picture of your community. This time it's you addressing the city that you've got a big plans to build a community within this city. So then you show them a whole bunch of ads in this time frame. And then what happens is, not only have you shown them ads, you've also sent them a bunch of messages. You've sent them a follow-up. You've sent them follow-up too. And before you know it, they've had 7 or 8 touch points directly and indirectly. And so this is where instant forms are just dead on its own. You need this trust cycle happening. And one of the exciting things that we're installing for gyms right now is not only just retargeting. So if you think of the lead coming in, we've just discussed there, more ads as soon as the behavior is triggered or filling in a form. But we're also retargeting them. We're retargeting them because what we're going to get more replies to the messages we send. We're going to get a cheaper cost per lead because of that. And we're going to get more conversions. So that's the big play here is we need to not just rely on someone filling out an instant form because we're seeing dips in people responding, prospects responding, because it's just much harder to get that response. The next thing you need to think about is if we look at, we're sending them more ads, we're retargeting them. We need to think about the bigger picture of when someone fills in that form, what are they thinking? And this is where, you really have to think about objections. So we've got our gyms to complete. What are the biggest objections for gyms, for example? Small group PT. Well, I just want to train myself. I wanted a one-to-one PT. If you've got a video here where you're addressing that small group PT is better than one-to-one PT, we run that as an ad. So we have 1 to 5 objection handling videos. For me, that I'm running right now, when someone fills in a form or watches a VSL, I'm then sending them a video saying, here's why you should, 10% of your revenue should go toward paid advertising. And they're like, oh, this is what this guy's about. The next video is about MRR. It's like me and Hormozy, MRR Jesus, and I'm showing the award. Why? Because I'm just trying to build more trust. And that's the whole name of the game here. Because if we build more trust, we get in front of our audience more. They go, yep, mentally, yep, there's another one. Oh, I'm not getting salty, but they're giving me value. I'm not sure it's for me. You objection handle. Boom. And what happens? Eventually, it just leads to getting that sign up, which ultimately is why we're doing it all. So, instant forms on their own are done. By the way, what I'm not going to settle for is, yeah, I know, but Chris, like when someone fills in my instant form, I send them a WhatsApp or I send them a message and then I send them 6 or 7 emails that are probably poorly written, and your open rate's probably 30% if you're lucky. And if they don't open number one, chances are 2 out of 3 are going to promotions or junk, right? I'm not having it that we are just settling for automations doing the legwork for your business. Think about that for a sec. Okay, I know that was fast paced. I get excited to talk about stuff like this. If you enjoyed it, let me know in the comments, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.